Okay, we are recording, Ella.
Awesome.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another lesson of Promise Startups. Today, we're going to teach you a little bit about websites, and we're going to show you how to get a website out the door with as minimal investment as possible so that you can start telling your brand story. But before we do that, let's hear a message from some of the folks that inspire us to do this.
It means we should support everyone who's willing to work and every risk taker and entrepreneur who aspires to become the next Steve Jobs.
Boy, I've forgotten how much work it actually is to start a company. It's a lot of work. And you've got to do everything. You've got to come up with a name. You've got to come up with a logo. In addition to designing the product, you've got to figure out what to design. You've got to figure out how you're going to get it to the marketplace. You've got to do a part number system.
I would say number one is clearly the ability to take a hit and keep getting up. Everybody talks about it, but the difference between the really great entrepreneurs and everybody else is not so much how they take the hit, but the great ones don't feel sorry for themselves. They don't waste that time. So if you by nature can take a hit and are stupid enough to pop back up and say, hit me again, you're perfect for an entrepreneur.
Woohoo! Okay, awesome. Let's do this. Ella, have you ever designed a website before or anything like that?
I have not, and I am willing to learn this new skill to, help everybody else. So
Sweet.
here we go.
Awesome. Well, crazy screen share here, but let's just dive into what we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do right now, let's just go through some of the popular web design tools that are out there and available. Just because there's so many options out there, and I'll definitely have some recommendations. We'll do that. We'll go over what are hosting providers and some specific ones, and then we'll dive into actually playing around with one of the web design tools, WordPress. So let's go first over an overview of popular web design tools. So if we just do a quick Google search for website design, you can see like all of these different agencies selling their websites, and some of them are tools and some of them are local, and that's cool. A website could cost you anywhere, if you went through an agency, really could cost you anywhere from a couple $100 to tens of thousands of dollars. I think one time I wrote a proposal, it was like $50,000. It didn't go through, but it was for the public library system. And it's, those types of websites are just so much more intensive. But what we're going to do today are a lot more simpler. Like we're going to go with the $99 style website just to get you out there. And there's a couple different tools that can help do that really cost effectively. So I just want to talk through them because I hope that the skills you learn in this web design tutorial could really be applied to almost any of these tools. And then I'll show you the tools that I like to use. So yeah, I guess those are the only ones that came up in the Google search that were really popular. Wix and Squarespace. I'm trying to see that there's some others. I think there's like Weebly. And the reason why I'm bringing these up is because they're relatively cost effective and they're also relatively easy to implement. And so here's Weebly. These are pretty much drag and drop builders. So there's pros and cons to using a drag and drop builder like Weebly. So the pro is that it's really simple. They've got these templates and you can just install them and then drag and drop and edit. The con is that the website is pretty much hosted and owned by Weebly. So, depending on how their pricing works, like you are always going to have to pay Weebly in order to run your website. And sometimes you might have to upgrade to do certain things. So for example, they've got the free plan, and the free plan doesn't give you a domain. It's going to be like a ellaswebsite.weebly.com, which if you have no budget, it's better than nothing, but it's not the most professional if you're building a business. So you're going to want to go with, this option to connect a custom domain. And either that or go with the professional option so you can leverage some of the other benefits that they offer. So let's see, what are those benefits in this case? The Ssl Security, that's a really good benefit. You want to have site security which is this lock screen right here. It says your connection is secure. So that's a great benefit. You know, on the more expensive plan now, they're talking about, okay, well, we're going to give you more storage and the advanced stats, and we're going to get rid of ads. So I guess that means on the personal plan, they have the ads, right? So these are the pros and cons to think about. You know, it's it's going to be $12 a month or $16 months a month just to run this website. So, and we can do a tutorial of the drag and drop editor in a future lesson, especially if y'all are interested. But the drag and drop tutorials are all relatively similar, and I'm going to invest our time today in the WordPress version. So that's Weebly. Weebly is a lot like Wix. Wix is also really cool. I personally like Wix too. But again, you're going to deal with the same pros and cons, right? So a little bit more expensive, and y'all, the websites only get more expensive from here on the monthly plans. Webs was relatively affordable. Wix, this is relatively affordable if you're trying to run an online store. I'll compare it to Shopify and Squarespace in a minute. And at the end of this, I'll show you like my personal favorite way of doing this and how much, and I think it's relatively cost effective. So Wix, I mean, really, if you're going to use something like Wix for your business, you might want to use the Pro plan. And just some highlights. I mean, they throw in the SSL certificate, which is great. SSL certificates could cost like $100. That's why it's cool that some of these companies throw them in. You get the free domain for a year. All of their plans remove the ads, which is important. And what that means is they offer a free plan. Again, Ela's website, .wix.com, for the free plan. And again, very similar to get this rolling. I mean, you could just kind of get started and then pick a template, and then it's drag and drop. Now, the pros and cons again with Wix is that Wix always hosts your website. So if you want to edit it, make changes, you might have to pay for an upgrade. Squarespace. Squarespace is another really great website. They really pride themselves in design and being great designers. And they are a little bit more on the expensive end, I believe, if I recall correctly. So let's see where they keep their pricing. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there it is. Pricing. Cool. And so let's say pay monthly because, we're going startup style. All right. So $16 a month is their cheapest plan. And looks like all of their plans that are paid for annually will come with a domain. And, it's going to be the same thing here. Drag and drop design editor. And so you get to use their templates and then kind of work from within that. And so, Ella, what kind of template would you want to look at real quick while we're here?
Let's look at like a marketing template.
Cool. Okay. So hitting next. Oh my. Maybe promote an event and sell services, get appointments.
That works.
We're just collecting inspiration right now. Okay, cool. So, I mean, really cool because they can really get you up and running really quickly. Like they have all of these templates that are pre-built, and then we could just kind of start swapping. So let's go ahead and I'll just create an account with Squarespace to walk you through it. And I don't know if you caught this, but Squarespace is actually owned by, not Squarespace, but Squarespace owns Webs. So that was interesting. All right, so the bright side is these tools like Squarespace and Wix really do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And so we're just going to go with a draft here. Cool. So now it wants us to edit pages. Great. So, oh, it's kind of showing us the tutorial, like how to edit and create pages and whatnot. Awesome. So again, Pro, they just did a ton of the heavy lifting for us. They just installed a whole website for us that was designed by somebody else. They got a checklist for us here to work with, right? So we're going to want to add in our site title and logo, go ahead and update the pages, and then design the site by changing the fonts, colors, and images, and then updating the domain. And so really, let's see how this is going to work. So I'm looking at this page, which, to me doesn't look like a marketing agency site, but that's okay. I guess we just have to change it all. So hit that edit button in the top left corner, and we could start editing all of this stuff. So this is pretty much, relatively straightforward. Do you have any questions, Ella, while we're kind of looking at this together?
I wouldn't say a question, but just same comment would be there. It wouldn't really look like a marketing website, but I think we could change the pictures and make some adjustments to like the branding of the look that we're going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So I think there's this edit button, edit section, edit background, and that's how we can swap the image here. So let's replace it. And then let's see, it wants us to upload an image. I was just designing like a clothing store website, and that's what I have. Okay, obviously we need to pick an image. So anyways, I don't have a great image to pick from. So whenever that happens, I go to a free image picking tool. And so there's pexels.com. They have free stock photos. And so if I typed in marketing agency, it'll bring up stock photos that look like a marketing agency. So that's a Google Analytics dashboard. Looks marketing enough for me. And I'm going to go ahead and replace it again. Hit replace and add in that image. So again, this is all very templated, and because of that, like, we can get through this relatively easily. Just, hey, replace the text, replace the image, replace the pages, so that we have it custom to do what we want it to do and say. The con is that there's not that much flexibility in the design. Unless if you started designing this from scratch, or if you started adding sections. And so, that's one of the reasons why Squarespace is not one of my favorite places to design websites. And so I'm going to take a break from here. I just wanted to kind of walk through, the drag and drop editor, which is similar for a lot of the tools. But I want to move on to the next section, where we could talk about some of the hosting providers, the difference between hosting providers and the web design tools we just looked at. And then we can talk about WordPress, and a lot of the websites that I personally design in WordPress. There's billions of websites designed in WordPress, and there are some reasons for that. So any questions, Ella, before I kind of go into the hosting piece?
Just the WordPress, what would be the cost to set up can you show us the price points like you did with the other ones?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to vary with WordPress. So WordPress is like a license-free software in a way. Like it's a public use software. And what that means is you can take your WordPress software and you can upload it to a server that you host, that you own. And so if you did it that way, WordPress costs nothing. You just have to pay for the hosting. Whereas the web design tools we looked at, Squarespace, Weebly, Wix, they provide you the hosting and they provide you the software. But their software is like, their trade secret. It's their software. So you can never have access to it. So you can never change the code or have full flexibility. And so here's a way to put it. You have your website files. This would be the website builder. And then you have your host. This is going to be like you having space on one of these servers to host your website, which would put the website on the internet. And so for Wix, Wix offers a service where they include both of these together for $16 a month at minimum. And Squarespace and the others have their own plans. For WordPress, it depends on how you go about it. So if you go to WordPress.com, it's going to be like $100 a year. And WordPress.com is a business that offers the WordPress files and hosting. But like I said, the WordPress files are, they were created to be free for, for free use by the public. And so the combo that I use that seems to be the most affordable is I will pay for my host directly, and then I would load up my WordPress files into that host. And so let me show you the host that I use. It's GoDaddy. And so GoDaddy has, a couple different programs, tons and tons and tons of stuff. But let's just go look at their hosting right now. And they actually have two types, tons of different types of hosting. This is basic hosting. And then they have hosting for stores, hosting for WordPress, and then advanced hosting. So their WordPress hosting, I would not actually recommend it all of the time. And, let's see. I mean, that's really not that bad. So they've got managed WordPress e-commerce. That's $16 a month paid annually, or $25 a month. So that's more expensive than Wix and Weebly and Webs. And then they have managed WordPress, which is $7 a month or $10 a month when you pay monthly. And I also don't recommend this one because if you want to add a store or if you want to change too many things, you're going to have to upgrade. And that's the biggest issue that I have with all of the web design tools is if you want certain features, you're going to have to upgrade. And so what I recommend and what I personally use is I would use a plan like web hosting. And so let me jump into their hosting, basic web hosting plans. And this would be an affordable way to do it. So this will give you access to your own server. You'd have your own server. And on your own server, you can actually have multiple websites, which is great. And then you'd have to pick what kind of plan you're going for, right? So I think I have this plan, the $25 a month plan here. And this is really cool because it gives you space for unlimited websites, unlimited storage, unlimited databases, and unlimited SSL certificates. So really cost effective. If you get together with some friends and you're building websites together, I mean, you could split $25 a month and have multiple websites. And if you're a web designer like me, this is a great plan. Then you could just build tons of websites off of this. But if you just need the most cost-effective plan, then they have that. They have the economy plan, which is $9 a month paid monthly and gives you enough to run your first website on WordPress. So that would be what I would recommend, is setting up economy. Any questions? What do you think, Ella?
I think that would be a good investment to do the $19.99 if you're going to be using it pretty often and things like that. But yeah.
For sure, yeah. So let me log into my GoDaddy account, and I can show y'all how the hosting looks once you have that account set up. Okay, so now I'm inside of my GoDaddy account, and normally when you log into your GoDaddy account, it drops you into your account page, with all your products. And so you'd scroll past down your domains, and after you've bought web hosting, it'll come up here as web hosting. And so you can see I have the web hosting plan here for business hosting, and if I click manage, it'll take me to my cPanel, my control panel, where I could kind of start editing the site. And actually, this is more like a server panel because we have to click on this button to go to cPanel. And so once you have this set up, you're also going to need a domain. So sorry, missed that piece. Regardless of who you go through, you're going to need a domain. So Ella, do you know what a domain is?
I'm really embarrassed to say this, but no, I don't.
Okay, no worries, no worries. It's pretty much this URL up here. So like the promisestartups.com is a domain. GoDaddy.com is a domain. TechStartMarketplace.com is a domain. So it's pretty much your website URL. And so you're going to want to buy that as well. And once you've bought both your hosting and your website URL, you're going to be ready to go really fast. And so let me just jump back into GoDaddy and show you how to find a domain. Ella, did you ever think about having your own name as your own website?
Yep, that's something I thought about.
So it looks like ellagarcia.com is taken. There's,
That's not nice.
I know. We could change it. ellagarcia.co is available. ellagarcia.biz, meaning biz, is available. Do you have another domain idea you'd want to look at?
What about E Garcia?
Oh, nice. Look at that, $4,000.
Why is it so popular? Okay.
It's a premium domain, I guess.
Probably the last name. Okay, we can go with whatever's available that's the cheapest.
For sure. Well, I'm not going to buy it right now, but we could do that in the future, like this .co. That could be cool to set it up, or even set it up into your own GoDaddy account. But once you buy it, I mean, you just add to cart, and then you buy it, and it gets added to your account. And then once it's added to your account, you can come back to your hosting, and you could just hit add website. And then if we owned ellagarcia.com, we'd just plug it in there. But we don't, so we'd have to plug in a domain that we already own. So let me kind of just go look at what we have that's not in use right now. Oh, okay. I think steampacks.us is not in use. Got a couple different websites that we could potentially build from. I've got howtopodcastpro.com, techstartrealestate.com, techstartforkids.com. Let me know if any of these pop out to you, Ella, that you'd want set up.
Let's start for kids.
Techstart for kids. Cool. So we just type in. So now I went back to my server area. I just type in techstartforkids.com because I own that domain. I say, hey, add this website to my server. Guys, we are so lucky that we are designing websites right now in 2021 and not 20 years ago. Okay, it is so much easier. It's literally click to click to click. So it says we added this domain. I'm going to exit out. And now it's, pulling up all the websites again. And so if I maybe go look for wherever Techstart for Kids went, right here, two things to notice. So I guess if I click view website, there's nothing here. The shelf on the server has no files and is empty. So we want to install some files on here. So we're going to hit install application. And if for whatever reason you never see install application, you can click cPanel admin and it'll take you to the same thing. So now that we're inside of our cPanel, this is what actually allows us to edit our server. Now that we're here, we want to go down to the bottom. Uh-oh, I clicked on something. I'm going back. We want to go down to the bottom and we want to look up web applications. And so we got all these web applications that are in here. And so now let's view more. And there's all of these different tools that I was talking about where they're essentially like copyright free. They're created for the public to use. And obviously WordPress is one of the most popular ones. There are some other ones here that might be interesting to look at. We can look at it in the future, like building our own Wikipedia. But let's go ahead and install WordPress. So I clicked on WordPress. And now we need to hit install this application. And now we got to pick the domain. So we got lots of domains. We got to look up text art for kids. Boom. And I normally go with this one, the HTTPS text art for kids. And the reason why is so that all of these other URLs just redirect there. And so that way we always activate the security certificate on the website. If you go HTTP, the security certificate's not there. That's what that S stands for. So now we just said, hey, textartforkids.com. Yeah, default version, default language. Most of these default stuff is fine. And maybe we just want to change the password and the email and the website name, website title. Cool. So, we just update the settings. Do we want to limit login attempts? All this stuff we'll keep default, and hit install. Cool.
I didn't know that S standard for security.
I think so. I think it does.
I think it does too, but that's good to know.
Yeah, for sure. And so now, just scrolling down, and here's textartforkids.com. The website got installed. And so if I go back here and I refresh the page, still nothing, but a little bit of something. Now there's like a blank canvas that we can edit from. We may have to do a redirect, a domain redirect to get the certificate active in all cases. But we could do that in a future section, future lesson. Let's just get into designing this website now. So now that we're on WordPress, we're going to go to textartforkids.com/WP-admin, WP-admin. That will take us to the back end. And the cool thing with WordPress is there's also lots of these templates. But personally, I don't really use templates as much, but maybe in this case, just go for speed we can. What do you think, Ella? Start from scratch or use a template?
I think we could use a template just for, the sake of time and things like that, but we can also give some advice on or if you can give me some advice on what would be the difference between starting from scratch and using a template. I know that with the template that there would be already something in place, but, just kind of give me a little bit of tips.
Yeah, most definitely. Cool. And, I know we're maybe coming to time soon, so we could definitely do another video where we focus specifically on creating it from scratch. But for the template, do you want to go with Bambino Care or Oakland?
I like the Bambino Care.
Cool. So let's go ahead and start with this template. And I'm just going to finish setup. I'm also going to start maybe something like here where I say website, step by step. Cool. So now it's installed. The whole template got installed. It's a one-pager. And if we want to customize it, we can either hit edit or we can hit customize. They both change different things. So let's start with customize and see what's there. So I think right off the bat, it's like the site's identity. So we're going to want to change that. Cool. And then we want to add in a logo. Probably got a text art logo in here somewhere. Uh-oh. Does your computer look like this too? Cool.
It shows the option. Oh yeah, you're uploading a logo now.
Yeah, let's crop this down. And also this photo is not transparent. That may be a problem. Yeah, you see that? To me, that's a problem. So we're going to want to update that in a second.
It looks like more professional when it's transparent, right?
Yeah. But this is fine for now. And, if we have a moment, we can go back and I can show you how to make it transparent real quick. But it looks like we can change the designs. So, one of the things we talked about in our branding class was that, bringing your brand to life, you may want to have some consistency in the color palette as well as the fonts you use. And so for me, I'm using text, the TextArt brand in this case. And so I've got some of that already set up. And so I'm just going to jump into my Canva account. Oh man, I got to log into my, no, that was my personal one. Okay, yeah. So for those who don't know what Canva is a free design tool. It's actually founded by an Asian Australian lady. And they have really blown up. I mean, they are now, I think, valued at over $1 billion. One of the co-founding advisors of Apple is advising their growth, and they are just an incredible tool, incredible software for design. Do you use Canva at all, Ella?
I do. I use it a lot for like flyers, social media posts, infographics, and specifically things to get out into the public, like information or things that we'll be posting on social media.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. If you want to be a graphic designer, you want to build that skill, go to canva.com, set up a free account. They've got Learn with Canva. They've got, tons of different templates you could just use. And as you can see, I'm using Canva a lot as well. And so let me open up, let's hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me get the transparent logo I need, as well as the color codes that I want for the site. And so I just created a new blank design. And if you needed to create a logo, like you can use their templates to create your own logo as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my uploads, and I think I've got like a TextArt logo somewhere here. And I want to use that. So let me just find it. That one had the city. I'm trying to find my kids' TextArt logo, that one. And so if I go ahead and bring this all the way up, that's cool. I'll create a new page. Why? So that I can just grab this color. Boom, that blue color. And now I can really just grab the color code. So that's all I did this for. Normally, you should just have the color codes in a doc or on your notepad or something on the side once you figure out what your brand color codes are. You want to have a brand guide, so you can just go back to it. Canva's been kind of my brand guide. And so now I go back to our WordPress site, and I can say, hey, primary color should be this blue backdrop. And that's it. Now it changed. And what else? The secondary color could be the orange. So let's do that. So grab that.
Hey, Elias, if you're talking, I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that, y'all. So I was just, it looks like I got muted, but I was just saying that the header and the footer, the color didn't match a moment ago. And so I needed to jump into Canva to grab my color code and edit the header. And it looks okay. What do you think, Ella? Do you like the full blue all the way?
It doesn't look bad. I like it.
Okay, cool. We'll do the same with the footer then. Footer, background color, boom. Awesome. So that's done. And now it looks like we've got, menu. Okay, the rest of this stuff, we probably can leave alone. So I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. Now that we've got like the layout of this template done, let's edit the actual page. The text, images, all of that stuff. And Ella, how are you doing on time right now?
Maybe if we can be done in about 10 minutes or somewhere around there.
Yeah, we could even try to make it 5. Let me set a timer. Bum, bum, bum. 5 minutes. Okay. And now we got to do copywriting. We just got to like, hey, what's the headline? So Text Art for Kids is designed to teach kids like basic digital skills and web design and design skills. And so, I'm just going to take the first pass here. Empowering voices through the arts and movement. So we pretty much want to go through, edit all of this now, and like the drag and drop editors, it is relatively simple. Like we just have to, if we want to change a picture, we just have to hit replace, open the media library, upload. Same with all of these. And so, okay, maybe this could take 5 minutes. Empowering voices through the arts and movement. Let's say I just typed in raising awareness and resources for digital literacy. Just doing some wordsmithing here. And if you need help with wordsmithing on your website, definitely come to a workshop or talk to one of us and we can do our best to help. By providing our kids with digital skills to succeed, our students are that much ready to win in this digital revolution. No such thing as good writing, only good rewriting. So, very first pass, we can always change it. My computer's slow, so sorry for the delays.
I think you have Grammarly on there, and I think that's also a very helpful tool for people who are writing, their messages on their website, and that's super helpful, especially with grammar and designing and creating your website because you want things to be like Grammarly correct.
Yeah, great point. And Grammarly is a free tool too, at least the plan that I have. So download it, y'all. Kids and tech. Let's just grab some cool photos of kids and technology that are free to use. So that one. Let me know if you see one you'd want to use.
I really like that first one that you had up with the mother and daughter.
This one?
That one. Yeah.
Awesome. I
think
downloaded.
I think that represents a lot of us parents. We're like trying to be helpful with technology, but we're also like, we're freaking out because we're like, okay, well, I need help too.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
I think choosing your pictures on your website has to speak a message to what you're trying to do as well. So I think that picture fits with the Text Art for Kids image.
I love that. Yeah, it does. It does have to tell the same story, right? The picture is 1,000 words by itself. Where do we edit the picture here? So, dun, dun, dun. I could have sworn I saw an upload button. Oh, I guess we got to exit the photo first, and now we can upload a photo. So now, oh, what? Come on. Make this easier. There we go. I could do a drag and drop. Cool. Yeah, her face kind of looks like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into?
It's my face every time my son asks me for help on a computer. I'm just like,
Learning, so learning remotely, I don't know. We're almost at time. So yeah, we got like 10 seconds left. I just want to put like parent support. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I think I know what to say. So maybe that's parent support. This I feel like is independent. And maybe that title is learn remotely. Okay, and obviously we need to add in a paragraph underneath this, and then we need to finish the rest of this website. But we could do all of that in part 2. But honestly, in the time that we just spent, we just set up this website, techsideforkids.com.
yeah, we did. And I'm truly amazed how you literally use those pictures to kind of create like a timeline and a sequence of like events and different type of services. So yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you jamming with me, Ella. Thank you so much. Any final words before we sign out from today?
No, I learned a lot, and I'm going to use those tools to, I guess, build my own website. And I appreciate you taking the time to teaching me how to do that.
Yeah, appreciate you two joining us. So I'm going to hit the outro, and we'll see y'all next time.
Okay. Just waiting for this to be, oh.